Hey everybody, it's Tuesday, August 29th, 2023. We are officially, I guess, after the 11 a.m. tropical update, we are now out of the cone of what they call uncertainty. So Hurricane Idalia is going to go to the east of us, probably 50, 60 miles east, which means we're going to be out of the worst of it. So that's good. So we'll probably just have tropical storm conditions. Either way, that still means 60, 70 mile an hour winds, whatever. You can watch the weather and figure out what that all means. But either way, we're going to stick this thing out. We've had the RV before in a tropical storm when we were down in Fort Lauderdale. So we know it didn't budge at all in 60 mile an hour winds sitting out in the middle of our driveway. So here it's protected by trees. We got to stay around here because of certain things with the power. So obviously if the power goes out, that's probably our biggest concern right now. The other thing that we got to worry about are the bees. Just making sure that these don't blow over. Talked to Henry and Kathy. They were saying you could put a cinder block on top of the beehives. You can also take a ratchet strap and ratchet strap it down, which Emily decided that's what she would like to do. Now Emily's super busy, so that means that I'm going to be stupid and try to do this myself without a bee suit. So we'll see how this works out. But I got to basically screw an eye bolt in there, screw an eye bolt in there, ratchet strap it over on each one. So see how this turns out. Well, there you go, made pretty quick work of that. Again, just a eye bolt here, eye bolt on that side, ratchet strap across. Shouldn't go anywhere, don't have to worry about the lid blowing off. None of the bees bothered me. They really aren't that active right now. I don't know if it's because it's raining or if it's that time of day. It's Emily's department, but had a couple of them buzz by my head, but wasn't too bad. Other than that, on to securing other things. Fast forward several hours. I've just slowly been putting stuff up. The way I look at it, it's always a good way to just organize stuff and get things cleaned up. But pretty much anything that could fly around is down there. I've strapped the wood down, some steel down there from Emily's welding projects, but I only have so many straps. Not really too worried about it now as long as it turns to the east like they keep saying. However, it is not turning to the east yet, but it's only 7 o'clock. The first rain bands are supposed to come in around 9 o'clock. The tractor would only fit in this one, but wanted to keep the truck in there, especially in case we got to leave. We can load it up and stay out of the rain. But truck's gassed up, Jeep's gassed up, tractor's gassed up, everything's fueled up. Generators are good to go. At the Honda there that can power the entire RV. So if we do stick around, it doesn't get that bad. I'm sure we're going to lose power. So we got that guy that'll power the whole RV. Then we've got another generator back in there that we can use to power the refrigerator and Emily's aquarium. But you got to be here to obviously start all these things and get it going. So it's always a tough thing when it comes to a hurricane. Like, do you leave? Do you stay? What do you do? I mean, obviously, life's more important, but, you know, when you're uncertain on where that thing's going, I mean, we're not in the direct path of it, but we're right on the edge of the cone of uncertainty. So we will see how this turns out the next couple hours, but if it looks like it's not going to turn, we'll end up heading over to my aunt's. So, to be continued. Right now, it's about 7 a.m. Wednesday morning. We've had quite a bit of rain, some gusts of wind, but the direction it's coming from is this way, is where the gusts are coming from. So if we come to this side, we'll start to see some blowing rain, but kind of hard to see. The sun's starting to come up. We moved into the barn about 6 a.m. just to be on the safer side. The barn can withstand 140 mile an hour winds. The RV's actually doing pretty good. It really wasn't wasn't doing much of anything. It was just a precaution to move into the barn. But the power's flickered on and off a couple times, but right now it's still on. Probably not going to be on much longer. The storm is hitting in Perry, Florida, which Perry is southeast of us, about 30 minutes. I guess it's a category 4, but what the weather's telling us is we're going to see tropical storm force winds, which I think I already said it once. We had this RV and a tropical storm down in Fort Lauderdale parked in the driveway, and it didn't move an inch. So I'm really not worried about it again, but we are going to lose power, and it's just going to be, I don't know, one of those miserable days. But there are people having a lot worse than us, and hoping for the best for everybody. It's now 7:30, so about 30 minutes later. You can see the clouds moving pretty good. The sun's coming up a little better. Got the trees kind of blowing. It's hard to see, but there's a great big dead tree here. That thing really needs to come down, so it'll probably happen during this storm. The reason why we haven't taken it down is because there's a limb coming up here that when it falls, it's going to land on that limb and probably take out the limb next to it. But all in all, power's still on right now. It keeps flickering. Same old story. But it's a little windy out here. The neighbors, I don't know if you heard that, but there was just a tree that fell on their land. It was a pretty good gust. Half hour later, so it's 8 a.m. Still blowing pretty good. Somehow our power is still on. I don't want to get cocky, but so far so good. Beehives are fine over there, so I'm glad I strapped those down. Keep trying to look up on the northern part of the property to see how it's faring, and it looks like it's doing fine. There's one tree that I wish it would knock over, but that looks like it did fall, so it's a good thing. But looks like I won't be able to drive up the driveway anytime soon. You can also now see our one dead tree here that needs to come down. But there was a massive tree that fell back over here. I could hear it, and it was a big one. But I don't know where it was. Went up to the loft and looked out the window and confirmed that yes, that water oak fell across the driveway. So other than that, it looks like things are fine. So far so good. It's 8:30, the power just went out, and about 10 minutes ago the top of that tree fell. Just kind of missed that, but the thing needs to come down. But the downside is I think it did come down, but it's leaning on that branch there. So what I'm going to probably have to do once this is all over is try to get a rope as high up there as possible and try to pull that thing down the rest of the way, which will be fun. Just had a massive tree fall back there. I don't know if you guys saw that. It's either a limb or a tree. We can hear trees cracking and falling all around, which is pretty wild. But to be expected in this kind of weather. again, all in all, I think we've fared pretty well. I don't think we've had that much rain, but it's been blowing rain, so it sounds worse than what it is. Take another look up here. You can see that tree way up there that fell. It was dead. It needed to come down, so that's good. Just not that it's over the driveway. At least it's not the part that we've got gravel on. Talked to my aunt, she doesn't have power. Wes went to his brother's house, they don't have power. And again, we just lost power. Good news is the eye of the storm looks like it's on land now down near Perry. So hoping for the best for all those people down there. Other than that, I think everybody's faring so well that I've talked to. So good news. Just got off the phone with Emily's parents, letting them know we're okay. And all of a sudden, we got some massive wind gusts coming through. Lost a little limb on our live oak there. Poor little guy doesn't need to lose any more limbs. Looks like it fell from about up there. Again, not a lot of rain, just a lot of blowing rain. And when you're watching it, this is that big tree I was talking about that's really the only one that concerns me anywhere near the barn. But it was right on the property line, and I don't know, that cost a small fortune to cut that thing down. Standing here just watching trees fall. We just had one back there fall right down there, so you can see a clearing there now. The big limb, you may have seen it just blow right across there. It's all to be expected when you clear this much land, and as you guys know, we didn't clear it, but you got the support of all the other trees like over there. They all help block the wind, but when you open it up like this, you're gonna have trees fall. We got the generator going. We moved back into the RV. I made breakfast, and while I was making breakfast, that tree fell. At least it landed that way, so it didn't damage any of our citrus. But there are some loquat trees over there. Again, this thing isn't over yet. Moving to the east side of the pond, or the lake. One day I'll figure out what to call it. We're over here, sorry about the swing, where the beehives are at. I was able to keep an eye on them most of the night, so I knew they were fine, and they're obviously fine. They haven't budged at all. We did have one bee fall over though. Hilarious. Like I said, down here, this is where most of the damage is at. You can see maybe the tree off in the distance that fell in our citrus garden. And again, we had a bunch of trees fall down there, so let's go check it out. Now that we're down here towards the south end of the property, you can see our burn pile, which I had it going all the way up until the rain came, which was good. Like to get ahead of things. This part's going to be real swampy back here, so I'm not going to walk back in there because it's about, I don't know, a little over ankle deep water. But got a tree down there. Again, it's pretty wet, pretty soft back here. Again, it just gets even wetter and softer back over there. There's a tree that fell here, but that's the one that fell and I think collapsed the beaver dam or opened it up, however you want to look at it. This little area was working pretty good, or well, it's doing what it's supposed to. But now it's eroding over there, which eventually that's what it needs to do. Those are the logs that I put in to prevent all that from eroding down. This is one that I didn't realize that fell. This is near one of our original, what I call the crop circles. So that's a real bummer. It actually took out 2 or 3 trees. Again, this tree had already fallen where you see it uprooted. These are all just water oaks. So again, they rot from the bottom or from the inside out. Had a pine tree snap there. I think that's that one that I saw. Well, I was shooting video off in the distance. Looks like a pine tree, but I'm not 100% sure. It may be a water oak because it's rotten from the inside. But it fell back over there. We'll keep working our way up this way. Now we're back up here on the west side of the property near the citrus garden. This guy couldn't have come down in a better place, because no loquat was harmed in the making of this video, which is good. It was close. Again, this is another big water oak, I believe. It may have been a live oak. Pretty sure it's a water oak or some type of oak, but it's not a live oak. This will be a fun one to cut up, and it's going to take a much larger chainsaw than what I currently have. So looks like we're going chainsaw shopping tomorrow and get a new toy for out here at Deer Run Farm.